Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's video. So actually the V-Jump information that we have been waiting for just came out a couple of days ago, or actually I think it came out yesterday, depending on when I have a chance to upload this video. We got a couple of things, including a new character that is a masked character. It actually looks like someone from like the Star Wars universe, and who will be voicing that character, but I'm going to do that in a separate video in hopes that we get some more anime news before I record that video, probably tomorrow morning. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on all of the Rush Duel cards and all of the Rush Duel card effects that we have just gotten in this month's V-Jump. Now, for those of you unaware, Rush Duel is a new type of dueling that at the moment is OCG exclusive. It's going to be featured very heavily in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's the upcoming anime, and we had a lot of questions. I even did a video called like the top 5 questions we have regarding Rush Duels a few months ago, because we didn't really get much information besides the very basics when Rush Duels were announced. Well, much like February 2017 when we got introduced to Lynx, February 2020 we got all the information that we need to know about Rush Duels. So I'm going to go over that real quick and then we'll get into the cards. So the basics of Rush Duels are that, much like Master Duels, decks are between 40 and 60 cards. However, like Speed Duels, the starting hand is 4 cards. Starting life points are 8,000. Now it'll be very interesting to see if in the anime we actually get 8,000 life points. That would be pretty amazing. Or if we get our typical 4,000 life points, which is kind of what I am anticipating. But this is probably the most exciting part, at least for me. We finally get to see the Rush Duel field, and I'm sure it's going to remind a lot of people of the Speed Duel field, as it should. You have 3 zones for your monster, and you have 3 zones for your spell and traps. But what is great about this is this confirms that Rush Duels will have an extra deck. Myself and many people were skeptical, to say the least, that Rush Duels, which of course is a much more simplified version of the game, it's a brand new version of the game, was not going to have an extra deck, which means there would be no fusion, no synchros, no pendulums, no XZs, no links. Now, it's too early to say whether we will get all of the extra deck mechanics in Rush Duels and in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. At the moment, even after all the new cards got announced for Luke and for Yugioh, we still do not have any extra deck Rush Duel cards that have been announced or revealed. So we're still waiting for our first. I would imagine they'll start with fusions, but at least this confirms that there will be extra decks in Rush Duels, meaning there will be extra deck summoning in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's Rush Duels, which is great. And again, in case you forgot the traits of Rush Duels, you draw a lot. You're going to draw until you have 5 cards in your hand during your draw phase. The player with the first turn will draw 1 as well, which is cool. So instead of starting a duel like in Master Duels and not drawing, you will draw 1 right off the bat. If your hand size is 5, you still draw 1. There is no limit to your hand size. And then, of course, the big factor, continuous summons. You can normal summon / set monsters from your hand as many times as you want per turn. So it really is just a game where you're going to use all the resources in your hand. You're going to replenish them as soon as your next turn starts. And I can see that being kind of crazy with deck outs. If you have a 40 card deck and you have a deck that allows you to draw quite a bit on top of the ability in Rush Duels to draw 5 or draw until your hand is 5 every turn, you probably will only have about 7 or 8 turns to defeat your opponent, which should be enough. But if it's a more stalling kind of duel, you might be decking out. Of course, with this style, I have a feeling that damage and duels can be decided very quickly, just because of the whole way that Rush Duels operate and function. But we will have to wait and see until duels actually start taking place in the real game, and of course in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. Rush Duels procedures are just like Speed Duels. You have a draw phase, a main phase, a battle phase, and an end phase. So right after the battle, your turn ends. It is not like Master Duels where you get a main phase 2 and you can set traps, you can set spells. You cannot do that, just like you cannot do that in Speed Duels. So regarding the effects of Rush Duel monsters, the effect of a face-up monster can use its effect once per turn while it remains face-up. So it is a hard once per turn for every single Rush Duel effect monster, and we are going to get now into the effect monsters from Yuga's starter deck. So Yuga will be using a pure Magician's deck, and of course his ace is where we have to start. Seven's Road Magician. Probably actually my least favorite artwork of all of the artworks revealed. It looks like a guy who has been up at a nightclub for 7 hours, and it's 6 a.m., and instead of going home and going to bed, he decided to drink one more Red Bull, and that's kind of the expression he's got on his face. So a little bit, kind of cracked out a little bit, Seven's Road Magician here, but it is the ace of Yuga, and it's going to have a requirement. So every monster has an effect, but it also has a requirement to activate that effect, which is kind of interesting. So for Seven's Road Magician, you will need to send the top card of your deck to the grave, and its effect is that it gains 300 attack for each different attribute amongst monsters in your graveyard until the end of this turn. So Seven's Road Magician, if you have 3 or 4 different attributes in your grave, can easily gain 900 to 1200 attack, and can easily go pretty high up in the attack point scale using this effect. Another support monster that Yuga is going to be using is a level 6 wind monster called Windcaster Torna. I like the design of this quite a bit, and again, the Rush Duel cards just in general, I really do like the aesthetic of the Rush Duel cards. I like how there is so much room for the monster art. I think it's really awesome. To activate Windcaster Torna's effect, you will have to deplete your hand a bit. You'll have to send a card from your hand to grave, and you can change the battle position of a monster your opponent controls. And my favorite part of all of this is we are back in the days of vanilla monsters. Dark Sorcerer is a level 4 spellcaster normal monster, and its effect, it doesn't have an effect, but its lore, a sorcerer who dabbles in the forbidden arts. He still doesn't know the price of the power he desired. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the days where monsters have actual lore instead of card effects on the text, which is insane. I don't think I've seen that for an anime, and so I mean, I really feel like we're back in like the early 2000s. It really is a throwback to see that. And the final card in Yuga's starter deck is a spell card, actually, and it is Wind Spirit's Blessing. Again, I like the effect a lot. It actually looks a lot like the monster. I think it is actually Windcaster Torna. So Windcaster Torna is a level 6 monster and appears on the art of Wind Spirit's Blessing. You can send one card from your hand to the grave to activate, and then you can choose one monster you control, which has to be a spellcaster. It gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. So if you use this spell on Seven's Road Magician, and then Seven's Road Magician uses its own effect, Seven's Road Magician can pretty easily get to like near 4,000 attack points. So that is a very good combination to really boost the hell out of Seven's Road Magician's attack. And Seven's Road Magician, you don't even need to worry about depleting your hand to get its effect off, so you're really only losing one card. But again, the cost is much less severe than in Master Duels because you're drawing until your hand is at 5 every single turn, so you also have to keep that in mind. Now we're going to look over at Luke's deck, and I gotta be honest, Luke's deck I like a little bit more. It's more dragony. It reminds me of the Magician-Dragon dynamic that Seto Kaiba and Yugimoto had. It makes me actually kind of wonder if Luke is going to be the rival of Yuga. I still feel like we haven't seen the true rival, but maybe Luke will be the rival. His main ace, Rush Dragon Dragears, a 2500 dragon level 7. Send the top card of your deck to activate, same effect that Yuga's ace has. This turn during a battle phase in which this card destroyed a monster by battle, this card can attack once again. So you basically just get a second attack with Rush Dragon Dragears. But Rush Dragon Dragears versus Seven's Road Magician, I feel like Seven's Road Magician is going to have a bit of an edge, just because his effect allows him to boost his attack, and as long as he has more than one different attribute in the grave when he gets his effect off, monster-wise, he'll be over Rush Dragon Dragears. Especially towards the latter part of a duel, Seven's Road Magician should have an edge. Probably my favorite artwork that we have gotten revealed to us so far, and it's a level 5 dragon normal monster, Dark Dragon Knight. Absolutely love the card design on this one. A Dragon Knight who leads the Dark Army. His merciless strikes are without equal. The evil sword he wields consumes the souls of his enemies, continuing to grow. And then Luke is going to have another normal monster, Dragolite, which has 1500 attack. It came from an underground mineral vein. It keeps fighting using the energy of an unknown ore as a power source. Its super hard-hitting blows are simply outstanding. And then Luke's spell card, Dragonic Pressure. Send 3 monsters. They all have to be dragons from your hand to the grave to activate. You destroy all monsters on both sides of the field. If any monsters are destroyed by this effect, you can special summon one monster level 4 or lower dragon from your graveyard in face-up defense position. So you basically just reset the entire field. You have to pretty much give away your entire hand to get this off, but you reset the entire field and you're able to summon a monster in defense position at the same time to kind of start the new part of the duel, the new section of the duel. But this is just an entire field blowing up spell card, which is really, really awesome. So I think I like Luke's card designs a little bit more, but we do have the Dark Magician Girl equivalent. We obviously know Seven's Road Magician is supposed to be the Dark Magician equivalent, similar to how in Yu-Gi-Oh's Excel it was Gaga Magician and Gaga Girl. Well, we have Seven's Road Witch, and Seven's Road Witch, I actually like the design a lot. I like it way more than Seven's Road Magician. I think it looks really, really cool. Obviously supposed to be the Dark Magician Girl of this anime, and Seven's Road Witch is a level 6, similar to Dark Magician Girl, a 1600 attack spellcaster. If you send one card from your hand to the grave, you can special summon one monster, a level 7 or higher dark spellcaster, from your hand in face-up position. If you special summon Seven's Road Magician with this card, Seven's Road Witch, will gain 400 attack until the end of this turn. So that is really awesome. Again, it's cards that can play off of each other, Seven's Road Witch and Seven's Road Magician, and I'm sure there will be a few different instances where we see Yuga use the Witch to summon the Magician, and to only send one card from your hand to the grave, that's not a bad cost at all, and to have both of those on the field at the same time is going to be pretty cool. It really is going to be a throwback to the days of Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl working in unison. Two other Rush Duel cards that we have gotten, one being an effect monster, a level 7 warrior effect called Brave of Dawn Light Across, 2100 attack. You have to return two spellcaster monsters in your grave to the deck to activate. This lets you special summon up to 2 monsters. They have to be level 5 or lower spellcasters from the hand to your side of the field in face-up position. So I feel like this monster will be really good in like a Yuga deck and any sort of spellcaster deck. You need to have spellcasters in the grave to summon more spellcasters. So even though this is a warrior monster, it has all of its synergy with spellcasters. And then probably my favorite, ladies and gentlemen, we know that we are going to get a lot of odes to past monsters. We already see it with Blue Eyes White Dragon. Well, how about Axe Raider? Instead of Axe Raider, it's Max Raider. Axe Raider basically grown up. Axe Raider evolved. Max Raider is a level 7 Earth warrior normal monster with 2400 attack, and 2400 attack is actually pretty high for the monsters that we have gotten so far. A warrior who wields axes. He has trained his body, pushing himself to the limits. His attacks that swing 2 axes are quite strong. So basically an Axe Raider that has just been hitting the gym since 2002 and has evolved into Max Raider. That is the second monster already, and the show hasn't even began. That definitely pays tribute to an older monster. Of course, Blue Eyes White Dragon being the first. But those are all the Rush Duel cards that we have as of now. Let me know what you guys think of all these cards. Let me know which designs you like. Let me know what you think of the fact that to get every single card off, even spell cards, there is a requirement to pay. Whether it's sending cards from your hand to the grave, from your deck to the grave, returning 2 cards from your grave to the deck. I actually think it's really cool. I like it a lot. It shows that there is a good amount of difference between Rush Duels and Master Duels, and I just like the difference in playstyle. I really do, and I'm excited to see it come to life in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. My favorite card design, probably that Luke Dragon Master one, the Black Knight. Loved how that looked. And then Max Raider and Seven's Road Witch are probably a close second. But let me know what you think of everything Rush Duels, and if you, again, think we are going to get it in the TCG. I'm worried we are not, but please let me know all your thoughts down below, and I will be covering the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's character that we got probably sometime tomorrow. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Vincent Van Der Veen, Panther J, Smith620, Jorge Leon, Blue Maiden 28, Jarrett Buller, and Gabe G. And to my Diamond tier patrons Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, Sean, and Melinda Phantom, and to my Egyptian God tier patron Syn Cloud. Thank you to everyone who's a patron, thank you to everyone who's a channel member, and thank you to everyone who just watches these videos. I'm excited to hear all your thoughts regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels. I will talk to you down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.